Here's another example of trolling. I was making jokes about Ron Paul. He just had a stroke, right? And someone came at me and they're like, oh, blah, blah, blah. You're ugly. I hope you have a stroke. I hope you're in the hospital. And I just go, I just did have a stroke on your mom's face. So they came at me and now they got put in their place.
With a subpar. I mean,
I wasn't clever.
You weren't clever.
Not particularly, no.
Well, one of your things you do, which is interesting, I mean, I give you props in a sense, is you're willing to go farther than people expect you to.
Yes, that's fun.
Yeah. In fact, I'll probably edit out like half of this podcast because the thing you did, which she kept in, I should mention, Mikhaila Peterson now has a podcast, which is nice. I guess, was it on her podcast?
She was on mine.
She was on yours.
We did both, but this is when you're referring to when she was on mine. Yeah.
She was on, right. And you went right for the...
So I'll tell you what it was. You don't have to paraphrase. So I opened up, I say, she's Jordan Peterson's dad. And as many people know, he's her dad, yeah. She's had a long issue with substance addiction. And I said to her, you're most famous for being, Jordan Peterson's daughter. Many people, he's changed so many lives around the world. He's been such an enormous influence to me personally that I've started taking benzodiazepines recreationally. And she's like, oh my God, Michael, it's so horrible.
Yeah, because you pulled me in with this because you're talking, I mean, because he's going through a rough time now. She's going through just everything was just, you pulled me in emotionally. It's like, this is going to be the sweet, Mike is going to be just this wonderful, and then just bam. So that was props to you on that. It wasn't, whatever that is an art form. When done well, it can be taken too far. My criticism is that feels too good for some people.
What do you mean?
They're
too happy being irreverent to show that they don't care about anything. That's another form of cynicism, though.
Right. So because you think it's possible to be a troll and still live life to its highest ideal in the Camus sense.
I try. That's kind of my ideal.
I believe it's not. It becomes a drug. I feel like that takes you, like, I think love ultimately is the way to experience like every moment of every day.
You don't think that was an expression of, I honestly think, let's split hairs here because I think there's something of use here. I do think that me being able to make her laugh about this year of hell she was in does create an element of love and connection between me and her.
Yeah, but
I know she would say that.
Yes, it wasn't that. It was what you said in combination with the sweetness everywhere else, the kindness. It's a very subtle thing, but like it's like some of the deepest connections we have with others is when we like mock them lovingly.
Correct.
But like there is stuff. There's kindness around that. Sometimes not in words, but in like,
of course,
subtle things.
Because it creates an air of being familial. Like we're through this together. Like
Yeah, that's missing. That's very difficult to do on the internet.
I agree with you.
That's why my general approach on the internet is to be more like simple, less witty, and more like dumbly loving.
But that's not your core competency, being witty.
Me?
Yeah.
I can be witty.
You can be, but I'm saying that's not your core competency. I'm not saying you're bad at it, but I'm saying that's not where you go, like, organically. Especially with strangers.
I just feel like nobody's core competence on the internet is, I guess, if you want to bring love to the world, nobody's core competence is, given the current platforms, nobody's core competence is wit. It's very difficult to be witty on the internet while still communicating kindness. Like,
I'll give you another example.
In the same way that you can in physical space.
I'll give you another example. Someone came at me and they were like, they give me a donation. People do this all the time. And they go, like, I started reading your books because of my wife, and now we watch your shows together. I keep up the good work. And I go, what does her boyfriend think? So that is an example of wit and love, because that person feels seen. I'm acknowledging them.
Yeah.
I'm also making a joke at their expense. We know it's a joke.
Yeah, true.
So I think
Good point.
Language is often used in non-literal ways to cue emotional and connectivity.
It's difficult, but
it's very difficult.
What you've done is difficult to accomplish, but you've done it well. I mean, you've been doing these live streams, which are nice, that people give you a bunch of money and donations and stuff, and then you'll often like make fun of certain aspects of their questions and so on. But it's always loving.
That's not from love. That is genuine annoyance, because they ask me some really dumb questions.
But there's still underlying. It's not even like there's a kind person under that that's being communicated. That's interesting, but I don't know if I get that from your Twitter. I know I get that from the video. Something about the face, something about like
of course, it's much harder. The more data.
Yeah.
The more easy it is to convey emotion and subtlety. Absolutely. If you only have literally black and white letters, it's going to be, or whatever, white and black, if you have night mode, it's going to be a very different, it's much more limited information.
Yeah. But this is the fundamental thing is like,
here's another example. Like if they had access to my face, like a lot of times some people don't know who I am and they come at me calling me a Nazi anti-Semite, right? And I start talking about the Jews and just how terrible the Jews are. Now, all my audience knows I'm Jewish, that I went to yeshiva. So they're sitting there laughing because this person's making ass of themselves. That person has no idea. But if there was video, then they would be like, okay, wait a minute, something's up.
Yeah, something's up.